by the board this evening. Under Roman numeral 7C1, there's a new professional leave request under Mrs. Schoen's area, and then under D, another professional leave adjustment under Mrs. Castaneda's. They should be at your workstation.
So moved.
We have a motion from
Second.
Dr. Malkow. We have a second from Ms. Lessentine. Any comments or questions regarding the approvals, additions, or deletions? None? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to correspondence.
There is none.
There is no correspondence. Okay, thank you. And then moving on to our liaison committee updates. Start with Mr. Marshall.
Thank you. I'm going to defer on the Westlake Joint Managing Board meeting. I believe our director has a presentation, or she'll discuss that this evening. Or Dr. Rocco will? Okay. There are some changes pending since we are on our own from now on. Thank you. And there's nothing to report on the interview committee.
Okay, great, thank you. Ms. Lessentine?
I have nothing for Cherville redevelopment this time and nothing for wellness at this time.
All right, thank you. Dr. Malkow?
I have nothing for either of my committees either.
Okay. Ms. Seuss?
For the St. John Redevelopment Committee, I have nothing. Dollars for Scholars. We'll be sending out those checks to those colleges shortly.
Okay. And I have nothing for Dyer Parks Department or the Dyer Redevelopment Committee. It's been a pretty quiet start to June for us over there. Moving on to our official school board business topics, our consent agenda. Dr. Varacco.
Thank you, Mr. Baxo. Seek board approval for the executive committee minutes and regular board meeting minutes from June 3rd, and then approval of the claims, payroll, and extracurricular expenditures you received last week.
Move to approve.
We have a motion from Mr. Marshall.
Second?
We have a second from Ms. Seuss. Any comments or questions?
I thought that, did you not send down a change in the executive session? Should that not be changed? The ones in attendance?
Oh, the attendance one. Was that modified? I think it was saying that Ms. Lessentine was present.
Jeannie was out sick today, so
Oh, okay.
she may not have forwarded that to get amended.
Okay. Okay.
Well, they're wrong.
Then
for us to vote on tonight.
table the executive session.
Right, okay.
Okay, yeah, we'll table that till next time.
Okay.
All right, we'll just vote on the regular meeting then. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. And now, any public comments regarding those action items? Hearing none, we'll move on to our official school board business topics for this evening. Our regular agenda, Dr. Varacco.
Thank you, and we're going to kick this off with some recognition of some high school students who earned the work ethic certificate from the governor, and we'll turn over to Mr. Bagley to start, and if we could reconvene in front.
And I'd like to do some thank yous quickly. Of course, thank Mrs. Talent. She kind of spearheads this. Mrs. O'Hara is our, she oversees our cadet teaching program. And Mr. Richardson helps those out and does work-based learning. Mrs. Reddick is our director of guidance. She oversees the work-based learning in the office. And from the workforce innovations, Annie and Cuso Shreve, she is a liaison between and oversees the work ethic certificates. So what are the work ethic certificates? We are working towards building a bond between our partners in the community, getting them students, young adults that can get out there, show up every day, have those soft skills, are good workers, are hard workers, that care about their community, care about the people that they work for. So the criteria for this is a 2.0 GPA. The big thing is that disqualifies a lot of our students is the 98% attendance rate. That's the big one. And the students that were awarded these certificates, that's the thing. They show up every day. And that's the thing that when we talk to businesses and we do the work-based learning, that's one of the big things that we say. Showing up every day and being ready to work. One or few disciplinary referrals, and they do 6 hours of community service. So that's the criteria for this. And this is going to be, these students also really help set up our follow-on graduates, because when we move on to the cohort 2023, they're going to be graduating using the graduation pathways. And one of the ways that they can demonstrate employability skills is building that trust. And a lot of those employers want to see them go off and finish college and then come back to work. So those are the things we want to set up, is building up human capital in our area, and it's some great things.
I think one of the things we requested that portfolio is to say, oh, more work. Well, they do get a lot of credits for it, number one, and number two, we try to pace it out, because the kids are working. They work hard, and they have their studies aside. So that piece, we really try to work it out, like it's only just over the whole year. It's really not that much. And we really make sure that we try to get it done, but not be overwhelming. And a part of that is the work ethic certificate, so it's a very Sure. Do you want to do that? That's great. We got this down. Okay. We have our first work ethic certificate is right here on top. And I think you did get in your board packet a picture, because we know it was June, it's summertime. There's a lot of students that cannot necessarily be here, but we wanted you to know that these kids worked hard.
We want to thank those students and their parents for coming out
So
tonight.
thank you. Yeah, for sure. So, tonight I have,
We didn't rehearse this.
no, we did, but we're good, we're gonna be good at this, yes. The kids help us to be good, I can't say enough for those students. Okay, first of all, we have,
One for Mrs.
One for
Fallon,
me.
one for Mrs.
okay, Luke Camareno, is Luke here this evening? Okay, and Natalie Chavez, Carly Hamilton, and Carly was able to earn her work ethic certificate and her service learning through the way our counseling system has been able to help her. She was able to graduate because of some very careful planning for this student. Gabriella Hay, and Gabriella, I have to brag on her a little bit. She worked with our newly elected Chris Chung, and that was part of her service learning as well as her work ethic. Claire Hickey, who is Claire here, who won a full-ride scholarship in hockey, and part of that was this work ethic. I just love these kids. Jillian Jared works with did work for Pepinos this year. Ariana Kiana is just a star student who worked with our publications, and you all have received all those wonderful things. Abigail McDaniel had an opportunity to work with Great Lakes Rehab and helping people learn how to speak. Madison Sandoval worked with our community service at the church. It's called Suncrest. And Samantha Schaefer worked with Octopus. And Janice Shastine also had an opportunity to work at in Dyer for Funflatables. There we go. Get it. It's that physical learning, right? Kinesthetic, right? Hannah Shoemake also worked this year in, Hannah worked at Traders, Little Bear Traders. Jake Spree ran Rostrelli's Pizza, so I have to put a plug in for them. They did an awesome job at helping Jake learn tremendous management skills. Katie Stone?
Kenny earned the rank of Eagle Scout this year, too.
He's everywhere. I've seen the big church, I've seen him in Sacred Village.
Can I grab your hand too?
Yes, sir.
Lily Zamparelli is our only junior that participated this year, and she's after my own heart bit, and she is doing an equestrian internship in Peatone, and that will be her focus when she goes to Ball State or another out-of-state school. So, yeah. Mackenzie Brandt, is Mackenzie here? Worked with our cadet teachers or our education professions. Peyton Rokema, same thing, ed professions. Casey
Congratulations,
teachers
Peyton.
are great
Great job.
at Lake Central, and they really want to help build the teachers. So when those teachers take on our ed profession with kids,
And we're
they
looking
just do.
forward down the road, seeing those students come back here and growing our teacher population. That's a real metric of success, seeing the students come back to us as teachers.
So we hire them, right? Okay, Natalie, Candido, is she here? Victoria Paul? Is it, probably not. All right, sweetie, good job. Thank you. Miss Emma Green? All right, and Caitlin, I see. Caitlin here this evening?
Is that Victoria?
Ariana Perez? Oh, Ariana, yes, Sarita. And this girl takes a lot of DAX classes, so you can tell, yes, Sarita. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna be a wonderful teacher.
I missed your first name. Pleasure.
Amanda Fulmer? Haley Reese? Ashley Sweat? Jenna Toll?
Super job, Amanda.
So, thank you.
And again, this is a program we want to start seeing exponential growth, because 98% attendance when our students are here, they're learning, they're in the right spot, they're improving themselves, they're finishing up, and we're having an avenue for them to find their passions. So thank all you, and recognize the parents too. Yeah, they're actually. We appreciate everything that you guys do to help us. When you have those cadet teachers that program, you do make Lake Central better. We have some of our students work in the machine shop, they're machining parts for stuff that breaks here. We have students at Textile Fest, we're integrating the technology, at tech interns. So we're really thinking outside the box of trying to make symbiotic relationships where we can get our students helping us, get them to find their passion, make our school better. Our public relations students are the driving force to get the newsletter done. So it's just been fantastic. So we appreciate all you guys doing.
How about a hand for Louise, too?
The board support and our administration, we couldn't do it because they really, you all and our administration really does trust us to do what we're about to do. You know, we take out, we do what we're supposed to do, so thank you.
We're going to move on with our meeting here in a moment, but parents and students, you're free to.
Except for a picture out there, of course, you know, we gotta take a picture. Gotta take a picture.
No, I remember years ago, it came down to us, Dr. Emmerich, that the board wanted us to hire former Lake Central.
Hey, Robin.
They what?
I would, the board.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
The preference of the board was to hire former Lake Central students.
At least give them strong consideration.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always look for the best hire. Yes.
So we're, hopefully we'll remember the work certificates. Oh, there.
Okay, I think we'll be moving on at this point to our guest this evening from Lake County Public Library, Chris Reddick, and her helper. If you go to the podium, we can get you on our video.
Thank you for giving us some time today. My name is Chris Reddick. I'm the manager of the Dyer Sherrill branch of the Lake County Library, and this is Holly Pastor. She's the manager of the St. John branch. So we both serve your students. We've been here before. We won't take up a lot of your time. We just wanted to give you a little bit of update on some of the collaboration that's been happening between the school system and the public libraries. Wish Mrs. Schoen was here because she reached out to us in April. She wanted to bring every single kindergarten
Just all sorts of different things. At St. John, we're actually doing pages are great, but we wanted them to have something where they could actually see what they're doing. And so we're having the kids and the parents all fill out a star with the title of every book they read.
Oh, okay.
Now, are we catching every book? Of course not. But our hope is that we'll be able to make a star trail around the whole library building before the end of the summer. We're somewhere in the 150 book range right now. So.
We're at the end of July.
And it goes through July, so we've got time. So, what else do we
Last
got,
thing,
Chris?
we did give you a copy of our annual report, which is just very brief, just throws a bunch of numbers at you. And also a sheet that we talked about before, the databases that the older and younger children can get into. This was actually created by Chambers of Commerce, so you might be interested in your time off in the summer, exploring some of the resources that are available when the library's open and when the library's closed. All you need is your library card. Down at the bottom left of that sheet, you're going to see a little label I added at the last minute because we finally finished digitizing all of the Lake Central yearbooks.
Oh, nice.
Going from 1967 to 2014. They'll be the most recent ones. These kids are still in school. We'll have privacy there until they become adults. And we also have the Dyer Central High School yearbooks from 1953 to 1966.
Nice.
So if you go there, you can see the entire yearbook. It's not searchable, but you will have to be on the indexes. So you go to the index, there's a name. You can download the yearbook. You can print out certain pages. It's all there for you to access.
So Chris, is that just the high school, or is that like the elementary schools and the middle
Just
schools?
high
The high school. Very nice.
Chris, I have to compliment you on the layout of your library as well. I mean, when you walk into Dyer Sherrill Library, the children's section is right there to the right. So that's what's so nice about it too, the way you've got the layout for those that younger. Yeah, it's right there. I thought that was for me, but I did. I thought it was the adult section. So I started drifting off to the right there, but I realized it was in the wrong section. But it's laid out perfectly for the young children to know right where to go to, where their section is. So.
And many of them had already been there, which was nice, but there were quite a few that, and that's what Mrs. Schoen was concerned about. She had been hearing that a lot of kids had not been taken to the public library, and she wanted to put a stop to that.
Well-
So we're hopefully going to do it again next year.
Well, that's good. We're live streaming it, so all the parents will know. Take them to the library.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. Sure.
Okay, and my final item this evening is to seek your approval of the final terms that we put into the agreement as we transition away from a cooperative serving students with special needs to our own employees without a cooperative who will team with all of our other educators. And I think we've been doing a pretty good job of it already. But now we will officially relinquish the use of the Westlake term forevermore. And I think it'll be a benefit for a few people who still want to label people, mainly students. And so we're all in this together, and I think it's going to be better for us moving forward. Any questions about any of those terms that you saw?
Just a general FYI question, Larry. How did the state perceive this whole process? I've never did hear any kind of feedback in that regard. The dissolution of the cooperative.
Well, it's really the federal government that, and Becky can answer this better than me, but they're the ones that want to make sure you're following the law in terms of providing services to students. Exactly how you do that is a local decision. There are many large districts across the state who provide their own services.
Any other questions for Dr. Bracco regarding the agreement?
So did you put all this together, Rob?
I don't know what you have.
Just the
The financial aid?
budgets?
The ones in your hand now are
Yes.
printout from our financial system as of, I
Yes.
believe, May 31st.
Cash
And then the other spreadsheets are my Excel spreadsheets that I prepared, yes.
So for example, when it says emotionally disturbed full-time, that's the entire co-op then? All the EH from within the co-op? Emotionally disturbed teachers
Yes.
from within the co-op?
Yes.
Okay. Certified?
For
and
that
non-certs.
particular time frame.
Yeah. Oh, okay, very good. Oh, yes, I see the date now. Okay. And it looked like it balanced out pretty well at the very end, correct? I think just,
It's an ongoing,
Yeah.
everyday living document. They just wanted to have a feel of what it was as of the last closed month.
Okay. So I think we're probably going to need a motion on this, on the Westlake agreement then, correct?
Move to approve.
All right, we have a motion from Ms. Suze.
I'd like to second that.
It was
Too late, Howard.
That's fine.
You almost got it, Howard. This less the team beat you
I
to
tried to
it.
take it back, Howard. I tried to take it back. I'm sorry.
She tried to swallow that
I
one
did,
back
I
in, but
did.
she got you there. So there's a second from Ms. Lessentine. Any more comments or questions regarding the Westlake agreement? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
And I would add that the school town of Munster is taking it to their meeting tomorrow evening.
Okay. Thank
wait,
you.
I guess I do have another question. There are a few, and perhaps this is you, or I don't know, maybe you, Becky, but there were a couple of staff members that chose to resign. That was just their choice. They wanted to.
Some of them stayed with Munster.
Yeah, Munster has hired several staff members. They've completed their hiring of certified staff members, and now they're working on classified staff members.
Okay, so if it was indicated as resigned and they were an LC, then they would have to resign to be hired by
Right.
Munster.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that clarification.
I have a question now that you said that. Is there anything that can happen if their board doesn't approve this break? I mean, there's nothing that we have to worry about, right? Everything's good to go,
From a legal standpoint.
right?
Well, it would be a really sign of poor faith since we've been working on this for 3 or 4 months pretty regularly.
So there's nothing that we really have to worry about?
No, the last adjustments were their adjustments to us with no counter from us, so
Okay.
I don't anticipate that happening.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Varco. All right, moving on to our
Wait,
director.
I guess I do have one
Okay.
more.
One more?
You know, it really is.
I almost got it out.
So it won't be called Westlake anymore, but I see you hired a staff member,
Yes, yes.
and that person
for
will
my
be at central office, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
So we're just, there's really no need, I've had a lot of people ask me what we're going to be called.
Called, yeah.
And
Yeah.
to me, there's no reason to give us a name because
Right.
we're just part of Lake Central.
Mhm.
So it will be the special education department, just like Mrs. Mucha has the personnel department, or, yeah, the math. We don't call our English classes Lake Central English, they're just English. So, so we'll just be another department within the large corporation.
I guess, but it said central office, but is your area considered central office?
Yes,
Okay, very good. Thank you.
just a hallway.
Okay.
Okay. Any more comments or questions? No, I think we're done.
That replacement, by the way, went to a 9-month position. We transferred the former 12-month person into Barb's payroll job. And without the workload of the Munster side of things, we brought it to a 9-month position instead.
And she will be taking on some other central office duties as well, so she won't be solely special education. She'll sit in my area of the office, but.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to our Director of Human Resources, Terry Mucha.
Thank you very much. We're recommending that the following appointments, resignations be approved.
Move
So
to
moved.
approve.
Okay, we have a motion from Mr. Marshall, and I'll second that motion. Any comments or questions regarding the personnel recommendations from Ms. Mucha? Okay, hearing none.
Wait, I do have a question.
She does have one.
What does it mean when it says purchase of planned time for the
If
2019,
there's
2020?
And we do this every year. There are certain classes that without hiring another person, we only need to cover one more. So
It's like
actually,
a
it's
fixed
quite a bit
assignment.
cheaper for us to just buy a plan because we're not paying in for the per.
Gotcha. Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Okay. Let's take a vote on that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you very much. I also have a professional leave request for your approval, and you'll notice a few of those are for our new food service director,
Mhm.
who is going to IDOE training for a couple of sessions.
Great.
So moved.
We have a motion from Dr. Malko.
Second.
We have a second from Ms. Lessentine. Okay, any comments or questions? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
And my last item is to just tell you that since the negotiation timeline seems a little complicated at times, Dr. Bracco had suggested I put that on a calendar for you so that you could see exactly when all the negotiations will be happening. And just a reminder that informal negotiations, not all of those are planned. We plan those one after another to see how far we get. So you have a calendar in there for your negotiations.
Great.
And you'll notice September's kind of a busy month.
It was on our,
It was in your board packet.
okay, I missed that. Okay, I'll look for that, thank you.
All right, any comments or questions regarding that? All right, thank you. And I understand you're taking Teresa's.
I am, while
As
Teresa
well?
recovers. She has one professional leave request for Mrs. Logan.
So moved.
The motion from Mr. Marshall,
Second.
a second from Ms. Suze. Any comments or questions regarding that professional leave request? All right, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
And I'm also Mrs. Castaneda tonight.
You're Ms. Castaneda as well?
And I'm asking for approval for her professional leave request.
Move to approve.
We have a motion from Ms. Lessentine.
Second.
We have a second from Dr. Malko. Any comments or questions regarding Ms. Castaneda's professional leave request? All right, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you very much. We also have a couple of field requests from Mrs. Castaneda.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion from Ms. Suze, and I'll second that motion. Any comments or questions regarding the field trip request? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
And she wanted me to let you know that she will give you the exciting iLearn update at the next board meeting.
All right, very good.
Oh, that'd be good. That's going to be great to hear.
You should have a lot more information about that also.
Okay.
Did it all go well?
I think under her guidance, that is the hardest working woman I've ever seen doing testing, and I think the principals did a fantastic job, and I think it went very well. We're waiting just for some further guidance from the state. In my opinion, I think they're going to move back a few of those dates because they have us rescoring without actually knowing what the credit score is.
There's a big disconnect in expecting local educators to ask for a rescore on a test when you don't know
No way.
whether they passed or not. If they passed by a few points, you wouldn't waste your time
Right.
because nobody cares about the individual score that much. However, if they finish just below, and that gives you reason to analyze to see if maybe you think somebody misgraded.
So at this point, they're kind of asking the principals to do a very difficult job, so we're hoping they change that timeline.
And how are they grading them, do you know?
They always have a group go together and do a
Is
cut
that what they're
score.
still doing?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm done.
The triple roll today. Moving on to our Director of Special Education, Becky Grimala.
And for my item tonight, I just wanted to provide the board with some information about our extended school year programs that we are hosting currently and wrapping up in just a week or two now. So I know I've talked about this in the past, but extended school year is different from summer school. So students have to meet one of 3 criteria in order to qualify for extended school year, and then that's a decision made by the case conference committee. So our numbers sort of vary every year depending on those case conference committee decisions. I included in your board packet a list of our programs and a breakdown of the number of students in each program. I wanted to draw your attention to the fact that the numbers for the classes do include a handful of students from the school town of Munster, but I included them because all of those classes are happening here at Lake Central, so those services are happening in our buildings. So if you look at the social language groups and the elementary applied skills classes, those are hosted at Holman. All of our middle and high school students are here at the high school. And students are attending the applied skills classes are 5 hours a day for a total of 8 sessions. Our social language groups are 2 hours at a time, and most students attend 3 sessions of those. Then we do have some individualized services. All of the speech and language, the academics, OTPT, and homebound, those are all provided on a one-on-one basis by our practitioners commissioners there, and we do have a large number of students receiving speech because of a gap in services at Grimmer because we lost a SLP. So then we have to provide compensatory services to make those up. So I can answer any questions if you have them.
Are we short SLPs now, or are you hiring?
Knock on wood, as of right now, we are trying to sort of fully staff for next year.
Okay,
We're in a better position than we've been other years. I just have to do some finagling with assignments, but we actually had a student teacher with us at Watson that enjoyed her time with us and working with our therapist so much that she interviewed, and I've already hired her for next year.
Oh, that's great.
Because I know that can
That
be
was a
difficult.
good find for us. That's
Oh.
one of our hardest areas to fill.
That's good to hear. That's really good. So you said there are some students from Munster that will be participating?
Just in ESY, because our ESY services will be done before our separation on June 30th. So we were obligated to serve those students.
Yeah,
So
okay, exactly.
I'm looking at the numbers really quickly. It's about 10.
Okay.
So I included them since they were coming here for those services.
And does Munster provide bus service for them
They
to
do.
come here?
Mhm. All of the students who attend our applied skills classes, which are that's a 5-hour chunk of time, they receive transportation. The students who are just getting itinerant or one-on-one services for 30 minutes at a time, we do not. Parents transport those students.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Becky. All right. Moving on to our Director of Facilities, Bill Ledger.
Thank you, Mr. Baxo. I just wanted to update the board tonight on the summer projects. We're only in the summer 2 weeks, and we're off to a pretty fast start. I'll just give you the highlights. We have finished all the required fire alarm and fire sprinkler tests at all the schools, all the required backflow preventer inspections at all the schools. We've reinstalled and re-added to all the playground mulch of the 6 elementary schools. All the parking lots have been restriped with the exception of Clark, Protzman, and the high school, which we'll do the high school always the first week in July at the moratorium. And Holman, it was supposed to be done this weekend, but with all the rain, we couldn't, so it's probably be done as we speak tonight. And then on some of the other highlights at the schools, we repaired and we had the chiller shut down here for about a week to do some maintenance repairs here, and it worked out really well. We had some cool weather. We also repaired a big, large section of the freshman center roof, and we have started their renovations up at the freshman center on the E level with some carpet removal. And we've also, we poured the band tower pad. The band tower scheduled arrives either the week of July 15th or 22nd, but we're all ready for that. We poured the band tower pad last week. Excuse me. Over at Kaler, we've stripped the track for the new track surface. We'll probably be getting out there, hopefully into the week or beginning of next week to start. We have to do some pavement around the track before the surface comes, and that's coming the week of July 8th. So they'll be there to resurface the Kaler track then. We also repaired a large section of roof over there. We've sealed the gym floor as well. Bibbage, the main entry project is well underway. We started June 6th. Unfortunately, both Bibbage and Watson, we found asbestos in tile and the glue, which it's not too big of a surprise because of the year it was built. So we had to get some abatement, which we jumped through some hurdles, and the abatement started last Wednesday. And they should be done this Wednesday with Bibbage, and then moving right over to Watson. It shouldn't affect the schedule at all. We've already, almost all the demo, except for the stuff we can't demo at Bibbage, is done. And we've started laying out walls and everything else. We ran all the infrastructure for the electric and everything else at Bibbage. Coaling, we replaced roughly 60 feet of a bad sanitary line in the main hallway, so that's all done. We should be close to wrapping up this week with all the carpet. This has been a 3-year project, and we should have it all pretty much wrapped up by the end of the week or next week, so we won't have any more carpet in at Coaling at all. Let's see. Protzman, there's sealing the gym floor right there right now. Watson, again, the the main entry has started well on that area. If you guys know, as you walk in the main entry where the art room and the computer lab is, where the office is going, that was a new addition, so there was no asbestos there. So we were able to demo everything. We've got all the walls framed there and everything. we're gonna start knocking out the concrete walls next week, so we're ahead of schedule there, actually. And the abatement will start there probably Thursday or Friday this week, and they'll be done by next Friday. And I think that's pretty much all the highlight. Oh, the Grimmer roof, just FYI, we have the permit for that. All the submittals are done, all the material's been ordered, and it's supposed to arrive early next week, and they'll be starting there mid-next week as well.
So you're saying there was asbestos found in the tiles?
The tile and the glue that the tile's down.
Okay.
Had very common from that era.
Mhm.
And remember, with asbestos, it's not harmful unless you disturb it or remove it, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
So that's common.
You
back
do it
in the-
underwater still?
Back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Pardon me?
It still comes like with water and then, they used to cover it with water before they.
Well, they just ripped the tile up. It's all enclosed, and they do
Oh, they
negative pressure.
Close the area?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Any comments, any questions? for-
So Bill, with Grimmer, you're just ready to start the roof over the office area?
No, we're gonna start the shop area. That starts next week.
So what's going on with the roof area over the office?
They'll do that when the shop's done.
Because I noticed it wasn't checked. So the recent rains that we've had, has it created more damage in there? No? It was tarped and protected, huh?
Yeah, they've got, yeah.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? All right. Thanks, Bill. Moving on to our Director of Business Services, Mr. James.
Thank you, Mr. Baxo. First item is to seek your approval for my professional leave request that I've included in your packet.
So moved.
We have a motion from Dr. Malkow.
Second?
We have a second?
Oh.
From Ms. Suze. I was looking this way, but we just heard it over there. Okay. Thank you for that second. Any comments or questions regarding that professional leave request?
Sounds exciting. You're going to be out east, same as Dr. Rocco will be, but not at the same time or at the same place. but-
With your approval, I'm going to West Point. I'm not really sure where Larry's going. So,
Well, you're going to the actual military academy or just?
that is correct.
Wow.
For 3.5-day leadership conference
That's
I've been
great.
invited to.
That's great to hear.
So are you the only one going from Indiana?
No, there will be,
Right?
it's because of my incoming treasurer position at IASBO. So the treasurer and the president get invited to go, along with Danny Casterison, our executive director. And it's my understanding that this conference goes to different locations each year, all generally with a military feel to it. Sometimes it's at Gettysburg, sometimes it's at other sites. Dr. McCormick is actually joining with us as well. So I think it's the four of us who are going. So.
Rob, you will not have to go through any plebe activities, I hope.
Cannot confirm nor deny anything, Howard. So.
Well, let's take a vote on that one then. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. You're on your way.
Thank you. And I just want to add that Indiana ASBO is picking up the entire cost for that. That is no cost for the Lake Central School District. So.
Great.
And then my second item is to seek your approval for the donations that were listed in this board packet as well.
Move to approve?
Second?
We have a motion from Ms. Lessentine, a second from Mr. Marshall. Any comments or questions regarding our donations?
Nice playground donation at Coling. Wow,
Mhm.
that's exciting.
Mhm. That's going to be nice. Okay.
As well as our library, they made the donations too, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. All right. All those in favor? Aye.
All right.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. That's all I
Thank you,
have.
Mr. James. All right, moving on to our public comments. Didn't think we had any. Okay. Moving on to our board comments and consideration of future agenda items. Mr. Marshall.
Just a quick FYI, Dr. Rocco's going to speak to this in case he doesn't. July 1 board meeting?
July 15th.
Okay, and that's it. Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. Dr. Malko?
July 15th, could that be the initiation date or the date that we start taking pictures like Mrs. Talent does of the kids that we recognize that receive school board recognition, and then we'll hang them out there on the K-Trap bulletin board and start to display those pictures?
Wait a minute. You're going to be putting pictures out there?
Uh-huh.
That seems like an awful lot of pictures.
No, it would be like, you know how Mrs. Talent went out and took a group photo of the students that we
Or you mean
recognized
on
tonight?
a temporary placement, or?
Yes,
on a per-
right.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I-
Each
It would
month,
be
you change it
rotating.
each month.
Yeah, I was just thinking the accumulation over the year.
Oh, I mean, I don't know, we would have to kind of monitor that, but,
I'll work with publicity to see
That
if
would
they
be
can
great.
handle that for us, because we really need somebody regularly scheduled to be here, or a
Right.
rotating
Oh, yeah.
I
group
thought
of
about
three.
Mrs. Talent doing
do
that,
that for
but
us.
she's always here. But, yeah, I just hate to see that bulletin board empty, so that would be a great use of the space. And
Mhm.
maybe we could put a little history of Kate Trapp up there, if
in the
anybody
corner.
knows about it.
Yes.
That would be nice.
There's stuff over the
Oh, there you go. Okay. All right. All right, that's all I had. Thank
Okay.
you.
Ms. Lessenty?
I just wanted to say great job to our administration and our teachers and our staff and everything that they've done. Sean, you were talking about the career paths and with the teachers. I've been at multiple graduation parties, but the couple that I have been where they're going into teaching, both students said that they hope to come back to our district to work, which I think is absolutely phenomenal to have that because of that program. The donations that we're getting are absolutely phenomenal, and since I wasn't here at the last board meeting because my daughter was given a scholarship, I wanted to say kudos on graduation. You did a phenomenal job again, so thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Suze?
I have nothing.
Absolutely nothing. All right, I do have one thing that I am going to bring up. June 23rd is our first annual Lake Central, did I take your thunder?
No, you didn't. I
Okay.
totally forgot. I'm glad you remembered.
June 23rd, mark your calendars for our first annual Lake Central Autoshop show. So that'll be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And there'll be a lot of cars out there. There's a fee to participate with your car. Spectators are invited free, so please come out on June 23rd and see if it's a nice day, or even if it's not a nice day, these gentlemen and these women bring out some really, really nice cars.
And it's free to attendees, I found out from Mr. Fisher,
Yeah.
because the people pay to show off their car
Yes,
and then
Oh,
compete
nice.
for prizes.
yes, there will be
Nice.
prizes
So the
for
people who come to look at all these souped-up, refurbished automobiles, vintage cars,
Yeah.
don't even have to pay.
free to our spectators, free to our community, so come on
So
out.
is this like a fundraiser for the auto shop, or is
Well,
it?
the monies will go towards, yeah.
Okay. I hadn't
towards the
heard
auto shop.
anything about it, that's why I just, I
Yeah.
wondered what the
Those
purpose was.
those funds raised will definitely go to the auto shop,
Okay.
so.
Okay.
All right, that's all I had, and I'll turn it over to Dr. Veranco.
Okay, well, I don't have a whole lot left to add at this point, other than, we will continue to hire people as the summer goes on, so you may see a pretty lengthy list on July 15th. Although I think we're in pretty good shape unless we get some additional resignations or a retirement or two, but it's more likely it would be a resignation. We are seeing, as the economy has gotten good across the country, a lot more resignations in the last couple of years compared to that one period of time when things were bad. In a way, we had lower turnover, so that was one byproduct of a bad economy. People weren't getting promoted to leave the state, so, their spouses were staying with us longer periods of time. But that's, a good thing for their family, so we wish them well. But we're in good shape staffing right now. Good.
Principals are working hard.
Good to hear. All right, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion from Dr. Malkow. I'll second that motion. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.